lacrosse fans, to the Utah Lax Report. I'm Tim Haslam. Last weekend, the IMLAX High School League began play with games on Friday and Saturday. Fremont, Farmington, and Davis round out the top three. Games will resume on Wednesday and next Saturday with a championship game on Saturday afternoon. There's a town hall meeting on Wednesday with the CEO of U.S. Lacrosse, Steve Stenerson. The University of Utah will hold a 3-day virtual camp later this month. Links to register to both of those can be found on the website. The UHSA released the regions for the 2021 season. There will be a record 58 programs competing next year. I also had a chance to talk with Kyle Hartzell, who is doing a clinic tomorrow, June 9th. He is a Team USA and PLL professional, and he and I talked about growing up in Maryland, the PLL, and more. Here's the interview.
Welcome to the show, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing, Tim?
Good. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. Sounds like you spent a little bit of time out here in Utah the last couple of weeks. How you been liking it?
I like it. It's actually snowed today, which was weird. Snow in June, not used to that, but liking it out here, and just enjoying my time out here, just working out, getting in shape for the PLL series we have coming up. So just staying in shape. Got out of LA for a little bit, just training the elevation. So.
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously we don't know yet where the PLL will land, but it was broken a couple of weeks ago that Salt Lake may be a candidate. Obviously, I feel biased that it's a strong candidate, but time will tell where it ends up, right?
No comment.
should be fun no matter where it is. Obviously, with the TV stuff that the PLL is doing, and looking forward to it as a fan again, because we'll all be watching it from TV anyway. So
yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't really matter at this point. Talk to the people about sort of how did you start playing lacrosse? You're from Maryland. Were you one of those kids who started really early, or did you kind of take it on late? How did you get started playing lacrosse?
I was a soccer player growing up. I went to Archbishop Curley, which is a MIAA school in the B conference. They were known for their soccer. They were A conference in soccer. I played there for a while, and then my freshman year, the lacrosse coach, Joe Latona, he was recruiting, athletes pretty much from every other sport in the school to help grow and make the lacrosse program stronger. And he recruited some of the soccer players, and one of them was me. And I actually played attack starting out. That was my first position playing. So I started in my 9th grade year. I played attack for 4 years, and after that, I went to Village Julie, which is now Stevenson today. Paul Canabine was not there. I think if Paul Canabine would have been there, I probably would have stayed and played. But, when I got there, I was an attackman, and I played for the fall ball when I got there in the fall, and left shortly thereafter because there wasn't much of a program. So after that, I went to Essex Community College, CCBC Essex. So my freshman year, I played midfield. We won a national championship, undefeated freshman year. And then sophomore year, I picked up a long pole, and we lost in the national championship that year. But from there, I went on to Salisbury, and kind of the rest is history.
Sure. Yeah. And there you won the 2007 national championship. Obviously a historic program. Talk about sort of at the end of your college career, what were your options? What were you looking at?
I actually did not get recruited whatsoever. So I think we're in the regions, the regional final game for CCBC Essex. And I think Coach Dobbin was at the game, and he kind of said, hey, I think you could probably try to walk on. Didn't have any spots recruiting-wise left, so I walked on to Salisbury from there, and kind of made the team. Walked on in the fall, tried out, and made the team. So. I didn't have the traditional route of getting recruited and all that good stuff. I kind of had to make my own way, and I took the road less traveled, I guess you could say.
Sure, yeah. And you have a successful college career. You leave and go to the pros. I was looking at your bio. Won an NLL title with Washington in 2010, and that same year won a title with the Bayhawks, right?
Yes. Yeah. So starting in college, my freshman year at CCBC Essex, we won a national championship. Sophomore year, we lost in overtime in the national championship. My junior year at Salisbury, we lost in overtime to Cortland in the national championship. And then my senior year, won the national championship. So I was lucky enough to play in 4 national championships, lost 2, won 2. Wish I would have won 4, it'd been nicer, but you learn a lot from losing as well, and motivation, etc. But from there I went on and I got drafted by the San Francisco Dragons, and then ended up on the Bayhawks when they folded, and I was lucky enough to win a indoor championship with the Washington Stealth. There's a couple Americans on that team. Paul Rabel was on that team. That was kind of his coming out party that season when we won. And, Eric Martin was another future Hall of Fame defenseman coming out of Salisbury, kind of followed in his footsteps a little bit and was lucky enough to play with him. Steve Holmes was another great defenseman out of the University of Virginia. So we had a lot of Americans on that team, mixed with some unbelievable talented Canadian players, and we're lucky enough to win that NL championship against the Toronto Rock that year. So it was a good year, and then got to win another championship with the Bayhawks in 2010, and that was also a great experience. So good year. 2010 was a good year.
For sure. You've played professionally, obviously since then. You were part of the Team USA 2008 gold medal team. I read on the USA site you were the only D3 player on Team USA. What is that like?
I tried out in, what was that, 2000 to 2010. I put in an application to try out for the 2010 team. I was the championship weekend MVP of the championship game for the MLL, and had a really, really good year. And I was I was the only defenseman to win that award ever still today. And then I was like, oh, that could be a good in for Team USA, and they'd never invited me. So I had to kind of sit and wait. And that team was Kyle Sweeney, who was in his prime. Not saying that I would have played, but I would definitely like to have tried out. But that team was amazing. Joe Sinoski, Eric Martin. They had Ryan Powell. They just had a studded team that won a gold in Manchester. So I was happy for them that they won, and that made me hungry to come back in 2014 to try out. And obviously we didn't win a gold medal. We came up short, and then that motivated me even more to win, to come back and play in Israel and ultimately win a gold medal. But that experience just, I'm one of only 2 Division III players to make that roster ever, and Eric Martin was the other. And kind of felt, like I said, following his footsteps, he kind of paved the way for me there. And he definitely motivated me to follow his footsteps and make a USA team. And I'm going to try one more time coming up, but doesn't help me much. They extended another year, so I think I'll be 37 years old. But I'm hoping I'll be in shape for that, and hopefully, the sport of lacrosse treats me right, and I don't have any injuries, and I can try out for that team. But we'll see. That's far away, but that is one of my goals, to play one more time, and that'll be it for me. So.
Yeah, I think anyone who follows you on social media knows that you being in shape for that is a real possibility. So.
Yeah. I mean, age is obviously I feel really good right now at the age of 34. But a lot can,
sure,
a lot can change from now to then. And I'm optimistic. I think I'll be, a candidate for that team, and I'm hoping, I obviously make it. But at the end of the day, you just gotta, set goals and go for it, and that's what I'm doing. So.
That's awesome. Let's transition into now. Obviously, you're playing in the PLL. You're on the Atlas. You were an All-Star last year. What are your thoughts on the, just kind of how things have unfolded? Obviously, with COVID-19, and then the PLL announcing the championship series. What are some of the feelings or expressions you've had during that time?
Well, I mean, obviously, 2020 is not off to a good start. I mean, we had, obviously, you followed along with the PLL last year when we launched. Paul Rabel and Mike Rabel did a phenomenal job of, raising all the money and all the stuff that goes in behind that. I think a lot of people don't know that story. I think that story is going to be told here soon. I can't really comment too much on that, but there's something coming out where the whole entire lacrosse community in the world will be able to see what was put into that. But we played in the MLL. It's just, it was a good product on the field, but, no TV deal. We weren't paid a lot of money, and the sport really wasn't moving. It was kind of stagnant. And, Paul and his brother, the vision they had to take this sport full time, me and Paul always joked about it. The New York Lizards hotel rooms, and, he always thought about it. We always talked about it, but never thought it was an attainable goal until we started doing it. And, I followed those guys around in New York City when they were raising money, and it was pretty – humbling to see, how much goes into that. I mean, those guys didn't sleep for, I don't think, a year, and still don't today. I mean, they worked, their butts off, they worked their asses off, and I'm shocked Paul's still playing and has time to work out, but he still gets it in and finds a way. And, I'm really grateful for those guys and what they've built. And I think every other player in this league is grateful for what they've built. But, the momentum we had last year, I think, we had 2 sold out crowds, which, the league we played in before never has done that. And, to see that is, humbling. And also it makes you feel like this is something real and it's going to happen. And, we had sold out crowds and, everything outside of that were crowds that were, there was a lot of people there, not sellouts, but there was a ton of people there, more than any other MLL game I've ever played in. And then the championship game, which I wasn't fortunate enough to play in, playing in that play-in game before, and then the big crowd for that game, and then ultimately the championship game, which, went to overtime, was absolutely insane. You couldn't have wrote a better story for year one. And then come 2020, we had a lot of momentum, and now we're kind of, we signed a deal with Ticketmaster, which was going to be huge for us. And, that deal is still there, but really can't do anything with it because with COVID-19, we cannot have fans at our games. We're looking at the quarantine tournament, which you know about, and the PLL Championship Series. But, I think we have a really good opportunity, right? We're looking on the bright side of it because, like you said, like our momentum here we have, and we're not going to let that die. And we have all the Olympic TV windows for NBC, who's been an amazing partner and really put this sport on a pedestal for us, and I think is going to take it mainstream. Obviously, at the end of the day, we're one of the only sports that are going to be on TV, and I think all eyes are going to be on us. And intertwining, sports gambling and with Sports Genius, our partner, I think it's going to put more eyes on the sport. People that gamble, they have something to look forward to, and I think it's going to be great. So I think you're going to see the best lacrosse you have ever seen at the pro level. Guys coming in for 2 weeks, and it is going to be high speed 0 to 100 as soon as that first whistle blows. So it's going to be really exciting stuff.
Yeah, obviously it's disappointing to cancel the season because you've got games every weekend and going to all these different cities. But at the same time, it feels sort of like a world championship event or a World Cup, where everyone's there, everyone's together, everyone's playing games rapidly. And so as a fan, like I said, obviously I would have loved it if you were coming to Salt Lake in a normal environment. But as a fan, it is a nice time during the summer to watch. Like you said, when nothing else is on, we'll be able to watch tons of lacrosse, and it'll be quick and it'll be awesome. And we're looking forward to it. So there's pros and cons, obviously, but I think the PLL has done a nice job in pivoting and getting their announcement out early. I think they were the first or one of the first professional leagues to announce a comeback plan. So yeah, they're definitely on top of it.
Yeah, we were the first to announce, and I think you've seen, Paul's pretty tight with all the commissioners of the NBA. He talks to them pretty frequently, and I think them, us launching right now, we're a niche sport, right? We don't have, we're not as big as the NBA, we're not as big as the MLB, but I think us announcing what we were doing definitely helped them kind of see like, okay, this is viable, and this is something we can do. So I think a lot of they're kind of, it's very similar to our model. They're looking at locations, and they're looking to bring teams in like the NBA's to a playoff, just the playoffs pretty much, similar to what we're doing. So it's good. It's good to see, right? I think this country, with all the crap that's going on right now, and I think it's sports are going to be good. I think it's going to kind of bring people back to normal, I think, a little bit. A lot of stuff's changing in this country, and you're seeing that obviously unfold on news. You're obviously seeing that unfold on the news, and I think sports are going to, give people to take a deep breath and kind of get back to a sense of normalcy. Sure.
Now talk about the PLL as well. You actually work for them, right? You work in the PLL Academy side of their vision. What exactly is the PLL Academy, and how do people get involved in that?
Yeah, PLL Academy is just our youth event business arm. Me and Joe Walters have been there since day one. Mick Davis was, the head of PLL Academy at the beginning, and now we brought on Rachel DeCecco, Princeton all-time great, and, Team USA member. She's awesome. She's come right in. She's done a phenomenal job. I love working with her. She's a grinder. She's a hustler, and I'm glad to have her on board. Right? She kind of came on at the wrong time. Or actually, I'll turn that around. She kind of came on at the right time. I guess we needed someone like her. So, with this COVID-19, we couldn't do clinics. We launched PLL Virtual, and we've kind of been, taking our clinics to, the virtual space, which has kind of been an interesting. It's been interesting to say the least, because I'm looking at a computer screen. I'm trying to watch all these mini screens and coach kids. It's not easy because you can't see stuff like out on the field. When I see kids on the field, I go hands on. I can show them how to do it, and it's kind of I'm getting used to it now because I've done so many. But everyone's doing it, and that's the lay of the land right now. But I think you're starting to see fields open up, things starting to come back, and you'll start to see our on-field clinics resuming here soon. But yeah, we're just trying to get our athletes in front of all these kids, grassroots. Grow the sport and, make these kids better athletes and better lacrosse players at the end of the day because, I didn't have this growing up. We didn't have YouTube, when I was in high school and middle school and kind of had to learn on your own and go to camps, and that was pretty much it. So a lot of kids have a lot at their fingertips now, right? PLL Academy, there's other companies out there that are doing the same thing. They have a lot of stuff at their fingertips, but yeah, we're just, we're pretty much in every state. Running clinics everywhere, trying to grow the game, and it's been great. So,
that's a great segue into what you're doing tomorrow. So tomorrow at Sunnyside Park, so Tuesday, June 9th, 6 p.m. You're holding the clinic. It's not a PLL Academy clinic, right? It's just one you're doing on your own.
No, it's not. I'm doing it in conjunction with Adam Gittleman. I was just out here, and
okay.
I think that a couple of defensemen would have came out, and we had a good response to it. I think we had like 15 to 20 kids registered, which is awesome. Small little clinic. We'll obviously have to social distance a little bit. Won't be full go, but we'll definitely get some footwork in and teach these kids and show them some drills and skills that'll hopefully they can add to their game and make them better players at the end of the day.
And are you taking more, or have you capped it?
Yeah, no, we haven't capped it yet. We're taking some more. We're pushing it out. So anybody that wants to come along, come on out. We're supposed to have some good weather. We're supposed to have it on Saturday. It got rained out. Some weather rolled through, and it's actually snowing here in Park City, which I'm not used to seeing snow in June. But, we have Tuesday, tomorrow, 6 p.m. at Sunnyside Park. Looking for more guys to come out. We have a good, solid group right now, but obviously always looking for more. So, we're looking forward to that.
Awesome. And I've got a link on my website on how to sign up for that. So if you're interested, again, that's tomorrow, June 9th at 6 p.m. at Sunnyside Park. Get an opportunity to train with Adam Gittleman and Kyle Hartzell. Should be a great time. I know that, like you said, growing up, didn't have access to anything on the internet. And so it was really one-to-one training is how you got better. And I'm still a believer that one-to-one training is an excellent way to get better. And so that's awesome. You're doing that. Anything kids should bring or be prepared to do when they're out there?
Yeah, just bring all full gear. Always have your gear. We'll probably start out with helmets and gloves just because obviously won't be on full contact because I'm going to respect the social distancing stuff. I know stuff's opening up, but you never know. Everything's case by case right now and a little touchy. So we're just going to, keep our distance and, we can get footwork in, stickwork, pretty much all the important stuff you need to become or all the stuff you need to be doing to become a good defenseman, we'll be taken care of tomorrow. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be my first time back out on the field all of 2020 doing a clinic, so I'm pretty excited for it.
Oh, definitely. That is awesome. What's been your favorite lacrosse memory or something you're proud of on the lacrosse field?
Favorite lacrosse memory? I mean, always, obviously winning championships is, what you're going to be remembered for at the end of the day. And so I'd say on that front playing, I have two things. So I think, obviously winning a championship on every level has been something that has been amazing. Paul and Mike starting a new lacrosse league now. Now I don't have a championship in this league, so now they're making me stay around until I win one here. So hopefully that I take care of that this summer. But that's the only level I haven't won on. And I won a silver medal at the indoor games, but I'm done playing international indoor, so I won't get that one. But winning a championship on every level is something I've always strived for. And then obviously winning a gold medal is probably my top moment. That was insane. The fashion we won. Playing the Canadians is that's just been a rivalry going on for obviously a long time. And I have nothing but respect for those guys. And I bet you obviously we'll be playing each other again. Hopefully, at the next one. So that game was crazy. Tom Schreiber scoring that goal at the end with, that highlight will be around for a long time. So, and then on the other end is just, like I said, I didn't go to many clinics when I was a kid. I had to kind of find out on my own. So I think another, my favorite lacrosse memory is teaching kids, right? I get to go across the country. I get to go to different states that I've never been to that probably didn't even have lacrosse, like Utah. I mean, I would never dream of coming to, the Midwest, especially Utah, like they have lacrosse. Like, are you kidding me? But, Adam Gittleman, Marcus Holman, Brian Holman, Marcus' dad, Will, they've done a phenomenal job out here in the lacrosse community and helped, obviously growing it with, the University of Utah and getting kids out here and playing. It's great. So I think teaching kids and winning championships is probably my favorite memories so far.
Those are great memories for sure. Definitely. What's been something that surprised you about traveling around the country, or maybe what's a trend that you see that maybe you don't like, something you could change, but as you travel around, what's something that you see?
I just think, like when I was growing up, I played multiple sports. I think you're starting to see this shift into full-time lacrosse. That's one thing I do not like about the sport. Just because, like, I think kids are, you become better athletes when you play more sports, right? You're not doing the same. If you're doing lacrosse full-time, you're doing the same exact movements, that the sport of lacrosse brings to the table on a playing field. So if you're getting used to doing the same movements, that you're going to get, I think your susceptibility to getting injured is pretty high. I played basketball, soccer, lacrosse. I'd screw around, play football. I never played like in high school, but I was always playing different sports, and I think that's why I'm still playing today at the age of 34. Right, I didn't get burnt out. And I think you see a lot of kids that play full-time lacrosse, they get burnt out. Right, I had some kids in Texas. I had a kid get recruited to go to Maryland as a defenseman as a freshman before the recruiting thing came in, and senior year came around, and he was one of the best defensemen I've ever seen play the game, and he just came up to me and goes, "Coach, I don't want to play anymore. I'm like really burnt out. I'm not going to force that kid to go to the University of Maryland, which is going to be tenfold what you did in high school." But yeah, I think you're starting to see kids get burnt out from it, and the landscape's crazy right now, right? It's like kids were getting recruited when they were in 8th grade. That's kind of obviously taking a back seat to the September thing now, but whenever your junior year, but. I'd like to see it go back to kids playing, multiple sports, because a lot of these kids are going full-time lacrosse. That's probably one thing I do not like. But other than that, can't complain. The sport's growing at a phenomenal rate. It's the fastest growing sport every year, and it's going to continue to go that way.
Sure. Where can people find you on social media?
Twitter, Instagram at khartzell81. Snapchat at khartzell81. TikTok, I'm not really into that crap, but I'm at khartzell81 on that. But I have not gotten into that, and I don't think I'm going to. So
the little I know about you, I don't know that it fits your personality. So
no,
I can see that.
I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No worries. Is there any significance to the number 81?
Say that again.
Is there any significance to your number 81?
I was 18 in college. There was a all-time great at Salisbury, Sean White. He was a great friend of mine. He was probably one of the best long-stick midfielders to ever go out of the play at Salisbury. I wore that number, and I think Berkman in practice came up to me, and he was like, "What number do you want?" And I was like, "I don't really know." And he was like, "Sean White, all-time great." Sean coached us, my senior year. Or junior year, he coached me, and he said you should rock that number, and I said okay, and I picked it up and wore it. And when I got to the Bayhawks, Ben Hunt, who played at UNC, was a really good pro player. He was wearing 18, so I just flipped it 81 and never looked back. So that's why I wear 81.
Okay, I love it. I love finding out how people get their numbers. That's cool.
Yeah. I just flipped it.
Cool. No, I love it. Anything else before we wrap up here?
No, I think, all your listeners, get ready for some high-octane lacrosse. It's going to be unbelievable. The product on TV is going to be insane, and we're I think we're like 47 days out. I can't wait.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining the show today, Kyle. I appreciate it, and best of luck moving forward.
Thanks. I appreciate it, Tim.